Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do my very first book review. I used to be like a really big reader when I was little. I loved going to the library with my mom, but as I got older, I kept making excuses for myself, saying that I was too busy, I had better stuff to do, etc, etc. And I ended up not reading as much as I wished I did when I was in high school, university, and I gave myself the goal this year to try and read at least 50 books. That is the game plan right now. We'll see if I reach it. But today, I wanted to introduce this book as my first book in my 50 book challenge. This is the cover. It is called Butter, and it's by Asako Yuzuki. This book was originally published in Japanese in 2017, but it was recently published in English. It was translated into English in 2024, so this is quite a new book. I will not deny the fact that I was quite drawn into this book because of its cover. The simplicity of this cover was so eye-drawing. I don't know why. Since I haven't read a lot these past few years, I cannot deny the fact that book covers really draw me in, and that's how I will be choosing a lot of my books for my future book reviews. But if you have any recommendations, please comment below. This book, I had really thought this was going to be like a murder mystery book because like it was about a murder, and I was like thinking it would be about this person trying to uncover who really murdered these people, but that's far from the actual story. But before I tell you about the story, I want to tell you the background. So this story is loosely based on a real Japanese serial killer. Her name was Kanae Kijima, and she was arrested in 2010 for the murder of 3 to 7 people. And she is also nicknamed the Konkatsu Killer because she frequented dating sites where the main goal of these sites were to find someone to marry. And at first, these deaths were seen as suicides, but after extensive investigation, they were found to have been staged, and then she was arrested. And then after 2 years of trial, she was sentenced to death, and now she's waiting on death row. So that was the actual story, but this story, which is fiction, revolves around 2 women. The first woman, her name is Rika, and she is a journalist in Japan. And the other woman is the serial killer, the convicted serial killer. Her name is Manako Kaji, and she is staying at the Tokyo detention house while she is awaiting her retrial. Manako Kaji was arrested for the murder of 3 men whom she was dating, and she's not meeting with any journalists or anyone at all. Rika, who finds this woman fascinating after reading her blog, this Manako Kaji has written an extensive blog about her extravagant, lavish lifestyle, trying all these decadent foods, and Rika starts reading this blog. She follows the first trial, and she really wants to get an exclusive interview with this woman. So she continuously writes letters to the detention house, hoping that she will be granted a visit, like she'll be able to go visit this woman. All her letters end up being rejected until her best friend recommends her to write about or ask her a question about how to make beef bourguignon, and she does, and surprisingly this woman says, yes, you can come visit me at the detention house. That is the start of their very strange relationship. And as Rika continues to visit this woman, Manako Kaji gives her these missions to go try these different foods that Rika has never tried before. But anyway, as their relationship develops, we'll see that Rika goes from this just journalist who really wants to go to the editorial desk to someone who is enveloped in Manako Kaji's world, and that's the conflict I feel like that she needs to get out of, and in the end she becomes this transformed woman. I don't know if it's for the better, but she has changed quite drastically from the woman she started off as at the beginning of the book. You'll see that throughout this book, it is scattered with so much food descriptions that you might have never heard of before, and it makes you get really hungry. Like, the descriptions are so vivid that even if you've never heard of these foods before, you can imagine them in your mind. So it's really well written in that aspect. This woman, Manako Kaji, is a very famous woman right now in this story because she, well, first is convicted of killing 3 people, but also she is not what people expect out of a Japanese woman who is thought to be beautiful. People have mocked her figure because she is bigger than what Japanese people consider, or Asian people consider, to be beautiful. And people are questioning how this woman could have gotten so many men to date her and give her exorbitant amount of money to fund her lifestyle. This book delves deep into what we consider beauty in Japan, in Asia, compared to the Western world. I myself, having lived in Japan and Korea for the past 9 years or so, have really, fallen into that perception of what beauty is. And for a very long time, I didn't think I was beautiful because I didn't fit into the standards of Japanese or Korean beauty. You will see that Manako Kaji is so confident in her image, her appearance, how she acts, even though she doesn't fit into these beauty standards, and it contradicts with how Rika acts, what Rika believes and what Rika wants to do, and how her friends live their lives trying to fit into Japanese standards. So this friction or this conflict between these two characters is really interesting to read about because they are so different. Like, Manako Kaji and Rika are so different in many ways, but they are also very similar in the fact that they just want to live a happy life. Some parts of this book were very hard to get through because it was just like pages and pages about food, but it delves really deep into guarding beauty, appearance, how people perceive each other, how people work, if you're seen as lazy because you maybe eat certain foods, if you look a certain way. I had some difficult parts to get through, but I would not mind reading this again because I think it would help me better understand, since this was the first book I read in a very long time. I would try reading this again. It might be difficult if you don't understand what Asian beauty standards are compared to wherever you live, but I think in each society there are beauty standards that might be different from another societies, but in a certain sense, I think everyone could read this book and understand what the author wants to portray and get across. I think everyone can get something out of this. For me, I got some confidence in myself to see the beauty inside of me. It's for another video, but like, I have zero self-confidence, or I had zero self-confidence before meeting my boyfriend a few years ago. So after meeting him and after reading this book, I feel like I have some confidence now to like look people in the eye and say like, what do you want? Like, do you want to say something to me? I don't know. But yeah, I hope I got my thoughts across. It's so random. I just like wanted to share my thoughts and share how good this book was. My next book will be coming up soon. I'm gonna start reading it today, so we'll see what happens. But I will see you guys in my next video. I'm starting my new job next week, so we'll see you guys then. Bye.